And so my announcement had a healthy dose of both because they're both important. And whether people realize it or not, they're interconnected with each other. I unrolled my platform that I call the 5 C's. We start with our children and really making sure that we're supporting them in every way that we can. Partnerships, mentorships, partnerships with our public school system, making sure that our children have opportunities to get jobs, because a lot of these kids really want to, they want to earn money. And so we want to make sure that we get our youth programs up and running. And to support our kids, we also have to support their parents and their families. That's one of the biggest ways to support our children. And so I talked about getting with our unions and seeing if we can get single mothers and dads and who are supporting kids, if they're not employed to the level that they can take care of them, to get them into job apprenticeship and other programs so that they can get a good wage so they can sustain their family and start to build other families, helping them with getting home ownership so they can start to build that generational wealth. Trying to break this cycle of poverty and some of the root causes that we have in our community and providing those services to undergird the children and their families. The other piece, of course, is about our officers, making sure that we get enough officers on the street. And I talked about, trying to incentivize some of those who have left to come back to the force, at least for a period of time, to help undergird our officers that we already have on the force now. And then also making sure that the officers know that the leadership of the city supports them and get their morale boosted. I talked about lowering that blue wall of silence. Our officers tell the community, if you see something, say something. Well, in my administration, I want our officers to do the same. If they see something, to say something, and I'm going to provide an opportunity and a mechanism where they can confidentially talk about those issues or officers that are problematic. Because frankly, if one officer, majority of them are great, but in every organization, even if they're elected officials, you always have some bad apples. And if people can freely express that and we can work and act on those things, it won't bring shame to their badge, and it will help in those community relations. And that's another piece, making sure that we extend programs like Clippers and Cops, which was excellent in getting community and people to talk with each other, bringing back officer friendly, getting our police athletic league and expanding that so the kids and adults also have some good interactions with our officers. So that was the cops piece. The other is code enforcement, our bars, our restaurants and lounges, making sure that we get the people who are to enforce the law in our licensing permit. 50% of those positions are vacant, getting those vacancies filled. And I will be, as mayor, interacting with the license holders, make sure that they know that we're going to start enforcing the law and do it consistently, because our nightlife is extremely important to our tourism. It's important to our revenue source, and I like a good party myself. So we want to make sure that those that are following by the rules are not being impacted by those that are not. The courts is another big issue. Our police do a great job. They arrest people, but working with our court system, both Fulton and DeKalb, to see what we at the city can do to help support them and what they're doing. And, that means that we may need to, not we may, but I will be looking to allow Fulton County to use unused space in our Atlanta City Detention Center. And then the final piece is the community, you, me, and everyone else, making sure that the community is involved, getting our neighborhood watch programs up and running, getting business watches, high rises, apartments. All of us have a role to play in helping to fight and, more importantly, prevent crime from happening. That's it in a nutshell. It was a little bit more to it, but that's it in a nutshell. I can't say that we're not seeing a rise around in our surrounding counties. It is a metro Atlanta issue, and I did talk about us dealing with this and working with this on a regional basis. And if you look, you can also see on a national level, people are seeing similar type crime spikes across the country, even in those areas that had already had a high rate of crime. I am not a criminologist nor a psychologist to tell you what is happening in our environment that has made people not be able to resolve conflicts. You know, it used to be you see the videos of people duking it out and fighting. You're appalled that people are fighting. You know what? I'll go for a good fight any day, because what they're doing now is when people are not fighting physically, they're just taking out guns and shooting each other as a part of the resolution. And so we have got a cultural change that we've got to work on. We've got to send those good messages out that people need to find other ways to solve conflicts. I don't know if COVID is a piece of it or just our general environment. I think it's a combination of things, and I don't have the one answer to it.